Dean L. Searls. Adams Electric Cooperative's success is due to the efforts of many individuals, but Dean L. Searls, manager for 40 years from 1941 to 1981, had more influence, set the spirit, and impacted the members and direction of Adams Electric above all others. Searls was committed not only to the cooperative, but to bettering the lives of others locally and worldwide. Born on October 3, 1914, Searls was raised on an unelectrified farm in Jersey County, Illinois. He graduated from a one-room rural elementary school and from Jerseyville High School. Born with a dislocated shoulder that was not discovered for some time, Searls had limited mobility of his right arm. Farming would not be in his future, so his father gave him the option of higher education. In June 1937, he graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Illinois College of Agriculture.
He was inventive, and he liked to come up with rather unique solutions to some of the problems. Some of the stuff was just he would build around home to do this task or that task. But yes, I think he liked to research new things. He liked to be on the cutting edge of technology as it existed.
While Searls gained his degree and obtained a couple years of utility experience, rural residents were banding together to organize cooperatives all across the United States to bring electricity to less populated areas. Shortly after Adams Electric was incorporated in 1938, Searls took the reins as manager on December 22, 1941, just days after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Wartime rationing made it difficult to acquire copper and aluminum necessary for building electric lines, and much of the age-appropriate manpower was unavailable because they were in the service. Searls made good use of his time by developing building plans, acquiring right-of-way land, and gaining buy-in from prospective customers.
There was a lot of skepticism in the rural area. I mean, they'd never had electricity before, and they were going to have to make a $5 membership, which is peanuts to us now, but $5 back in the 30s was a lot of money. And people were very skeptical. I think a lot of the leadership came locally with Dean's help, but there were a lot of local farmers who knew the value of electricity, and they were the ones that, with Dean's help, were able to convince their neighbors to go along with it. But I think Dean deserves a lot of credit for having the ambition and the knowledge that in time we could do this.
Can't was not in our vocabulary. You know, you do it and you stay with it till you get it done. You don't give up.
In the years following the war, thousands of area residents received power for the first time.
I think the one thing that he was always proud of was seeing the faces of the farm family when they flipped that switch on for the first time, and the big smiles that came on. Because he grew up on a farm that had no electricity. He knew the difference. He knew how hard working on a farm with no electricity was. You know, carrying the water or supplying the wood or the coal for the stove, you know, all the chores that you have to do. It was hard. It was a hard life. When you got electricity, a lot of that changed. Getting electricity was a real life-changing event, and he was really proud when that went over and they flipped that switch the first time, and they just lit up just like the light bulb.
During the early years, irons, water pumps, and appliances were all considered novel items. Searls helped organize appliance and farm demonstrations, teaching members the advantages of electricity. He led the cooperative into appliance sales and service. Adams Electric was also one of the first co-ops in the state to promote electric heating. They even helped develop the telephone cooperative.
His electric board of directors came to him and said that the people in the rural areas really need a better telephone service because they had 8 party lines, which means you had 8 families on your phone line, so you had no privacy whatsoever, plus you didn't have very good service.
Searls surmised that a rural telephone system could be set up using Adams Electric's poles to carry the lines. so he promoted and assisted in organizing Adams Telephone Cooperative in Golden and helped manage its operation until it became a separate cooperative in 1959. He served continuously on Adams Telephone Board of Directors until 1981 and as its president for 2 years. During his career, Searls also served as interim manager for several other rural electric cooperatives. He was appointed to the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association's Energy Conservation Committee and served as the national chairman. He traveled extensively. In 1964, Searls and his wife Frances spent 6 weeks in Guatemala, Central America, on a special assignment for the Agency for International Development to determine the feasibility of establishing rural electric cooperatives in that country. He participated in a similar mission to South Vietnam in 1965 and was successful in organizing 2 cooperatives there. In 1976, he served as team leader on a feasibility study to electrify villages and rural areas for the national government of Papua New Guinea. Many of his foreign contacts came to America to visit Adams Electric Cooperative and the Searls family.
By Dad bringing in these people that were going to the co-op to see how it ran, it broadened our horizon as to the world and the people out there.
Throughout his career, Searls also broadened horizons for his employees.
I loved working for him. He was great at giving you responsibility. He didn't say, "Do you know how to do this?" He just gave you a job, and you wanted to do it, so you did it. You found a way to do it. It helped me grow a lot. I remember the first time I went to a meeting with him, of course I was shy. I'd been home with my kids for quite a while before I went back to work, and so we walked in the room and I'd sit down on the back row, you know, and said, "Come on, we're going to the front row." He said, "You can't learn anything on the back row."
I always admired that he had some pretty strong ideas, but he was one that would listen to you, and you may be just the opposite thinking of what his was. And by golly, every once in a while, I'd be right and he'd be wrong. And he was a good man to work for in that he had good ideas, but he also accepted other people's ideas and worked them out for the best of the co-op.
Searls was a member of the American Society of Agricultural Engineers, serving on its board of directors from 1977 to 1980. He served the Illinois Farm Electrification Council for 32 years as an executive committee member and for 7 years as its president of the board. As part of the National Food and Energy Council, he served on a committee to develop farm wiring requirements. The University of Illinois appointed Searls to the Advisory Committee of the Agricultural Engineering Department, elected him to membership in Gamma Sigma Delta, an agricultural honorary society, and presented him with a Distinguished Service Award from the Agricultural Alumni Association. In 1978, he received the George W. Cable Award for Outstanding Service in Rural Electrification, and in 1980, he received an award from the Cooperatives of Adams County in recognition of his outstanding contributions in furthering the cooperative movement in our area. Searls was very involved in civic activities. He was a member of the Saukey Council of the Boy Scouts of America and Two Rivers Resources Conservation and Development Council. He was a charter member of the Historical Society of Golden and of the Camp Point Lions Club. He also helped organize the Adams County Old Time Association. As a registered private pilot, Searls was an emergency volunteer for Lifeline Pilots, an organization of private pilots dedicated to helping save lives by providing air transportation for patients or organs. The Adams County Community Chest, Adams County Heart Association, Region 13 Law Enforcement Committee, and the Camp Point Centennial Committee were all chaired by Searls as part of his commitment to the community.
As long as you have interest in other people, you can benefit by that. It makes you a better person to have interests outside just yourself.
Searls retired on March 1, 1981. He died January 21, 1999, at the age of 84.